Okay. Hello, everyone. We are going to be discussing my topic. So let's go back. Let's start from the beginning. This will be over discussion 4 regarding the City Council approach to deciding if religious statues are allowed in public parks. The topic I picked was regarding how the City Council should decide to approve the request of religious groups to place a statue in public park that represents their ideal beliefs. I decided to use two utilitarian theorists in my research to tackle the topic. The first is on one hand, the first would be Jerry Bentham and also John Locke. Let's see here. So now let's starting with Bentham. On one hand, Bentham history reflects that he's a follower of T. Hobbes and believes humans seek pleasure versus pain. Therefore, the common goal is making a decision based on the options that provides the least pain. On the other hand, you have John Locke, who believes in the law of nature and should be the ultimate rule. In his theory, he believed that we could live an acceptable, peaceful life without the government making decisions for us. Locke believes that every human has a moral compass that allows practical decision making. Jeremy Bentham and John Locke, they both have similar approaches but different perspectives on how this situation should be handled. I believe Bentham theory is that the city council will should make the final decision, and that final decision would promote happiness and disapprove anything that doesn't support that objective. Locke's perspective is the opposite of Bentham, in which his perspective would be to allow the people of the community to vote and make the final decision if the statue will or will not be allowed. They both have similarities and differences between the two theorists. Both John Locke and Bentham subscribes to utilitarianism, the utilitarian approach to the topic of American society. In essence, Locke and Bentham does believe that it is the government's responsibility to make decisions in the best interest of the masses. Their differences are Locke is not pro-government. He believes that the law of nature will withstand having a government, in which I totally disagree, because without the protection of the government, how would we be ensured the safety of our basic human rights of life, liberty, and property? I could not trust that my neighbor would have the same belief as I would, so there has to be some type of structure to balance the equality. Jeremy Bentham is pro-government and believes that everyone prefers the option to avoid unhappiness. He believes that the government has the people's best interests in mind when making the decisions in our society. For example, would the average American want to decide how much resources should be allocated to each country to avoid conflict with our alliances? Most people would answer no, in my opinion, and trust the government, like Bentham, to make the appropriate decisions. Effectiveness. In both cases, Locke and Bentham have valid points. I agree more with Bentham versus Locke because I believe structure is the way to avoid chaos. The combination of both perspectives could be effective in society today because it will provide a balanced effort in resolving issues in the community. In my opinion, I agree with Locke that there should be restrictions on how much the government is allowed to influence our decision in life. Therefore, all government should respect the freedom of religion. I can agree that there are instances where I feel the government oversteps its role on human rights, but the structure is needed to protect those same rights. In my overall conclusion, the city council should ban all statues from the public park. The park is a beautification of nature and should be sacred. Therefore, it should not have anything that imposes religious ideals. It should be a safe space that welcomes all walks of life as nature does. Thank you.